Burnout in business? You need to watch this. For many years, we've been taught to hustle, that if we take time off to rest and not work, we're either called lazy or we don't have enough drive in life. But the more we're taught to hustle, the more people think that more is more. And the more people work without taking time off that they need, they eventually burn out, inevitably. Today, I'm going to talk to you about burnout and how it's probably affected business owners, entrepreneurs, and even employees more than you even know. In fact, I'll let you in on a little secret. I experienced burnout earlier this year, and it was not pretty. I felt like getting up was a chore, and I just have no energy to do anything. Add all the personal stuff I was going through at the time, and all I wanted to do was sit and stare at the wall for a couple hours. Felt like inspiration was gone. There was a lack of excitement whenever I had to focus and get down to business. I felt like work was just never ending and I couldn't use a break. And it wasn't anyone's fault really, don't get me wrong, but I felt absolutely drained. And coincidentally, my clients have also experienced the same. Project just didn't feel that exciting anymore, and trying to win bids or drafting proposals also felt like a chore for them. Don't get me wrong, work doesn't have to be a big ball of excitement all the time, and sometimes we just got to do everything we can do to, put the food on the table, but it doesn't have to be a constant battle when you own a business. I looked a bit deeper into it, and if you know me, of course, I resorted to books for inspiration. As I was reading a book called Traction, Get a Grip on Your Business by Gino Wickman, he mentions that all entrepreneurs encounter struggle along their journey, and this couldn't be more true. In fact, I have a whole other video that talked about my struggles and the mistake I've made along. So what is the first step to the peaceful state of mind in your business? You guessed it right, systems and processes. Systems are there for a reason. Processes create organization and a solid foundation for everything that you do. One reason why entrepreneurs burn out easily is when there's no system in place and you feel like headless chicken running around the whole day. The only time you even switch off from your business is when you sleep. And sometimes, regardless of how you burn out, you're finding yourself laying in bed awake, planning your next day already. And that is not sustainable. So today I want you to see the 7 steps to create your systems. Number 1, identify areas to systemize. Identify everything you need to fix in your company. Pick one thing at a time. Number 2, assign system team. First, assign a key individual in your company to be the systems keeper, or someone to formalize and keep everything organized. It has got to be all the people that are involved, has got to be people who perform that work all the time and they know all the ins and outs. Number 3, draft standards, guidelines, and tracking system. Create the checklists with pictures of the desired end result for each system. Number 4, formalize and try it out. I would say let the team who created the system try it and work out, all the bugs for just a few weeks before implementing it company-wise. Number 5, implement and train your people. Number 6, monitor and track. Make sure that all the systems you've created are followed and are producing the desired results. Number 7, follow up, evaluate, and improve. In my opinion, one of the most important ones, I would say after about 6 months, revisit the new systems to ensure they're still being used and they're working well. So here are the examples of the main systems that every construction business company needs to have in place. If we're looking at the project as a whole, all the project-related systems would probably start somewhere with pre-construction planning system. That would include your contracts, your meetings with the clients, meetings with the team, estimating, then the huge project management system that could include procurement schedules, your submittals, your shop drawings, your change order management, progress payments, time tracking, how you invoice, meetings. Another good system is crew performance system, right? You have to have the job site review, tasks, punch lists. Then my favorite system, the job costing system, where you collect all the actual costs per each project. You also have to have some bigger systems like your software system, your marketing and sales systems, accounting, admin. When you're just starting out your business, it will definitely be trial and error, but what's important is that you record them. Track everything you do and how you do it, and figure out what works and what doesn't work. Have a project management platform that you can use and track all of your tasks. Regardless of niche or industry, it's important to have a platform where you just have, a bird's eye view of everything that happens, no matter if you are solopreneur or you have a big team to manage. I personally like to use Asana for my team and to manage all of my daily tasks as well. And that alone has saved me so much time, my team's time. We don't even have daily meetings, we have weekly meetings because everyone is aware of what's supposed to be done and when. And there are a ton of options available for construction business owners to not only manage projects, but also manage the crew, communicate with clients, have the paper signed, and even get paid. Some of the systems that I have been working with, and I find them very productive, I would say it's Buildertrend, CoConstruct, Notify, and Jobber. You can look in any one of those. They're all for different levels of businesses, I would say, but all of them offer free demos. They even give you favorable terms for the first couple of months, so you could try it out and see if you even like using it. There are even several options that would integrate with time tracking tools, with your payroll companies, with all the communication apps. The more centralized everything is, the better it is. And did I mention that I created systems and standard operating processes before I even hired anyone? In fact, that's the problem with most of the businesses, because they hire only when they feel extremely overwhelmed, beyond having a solid system in place. And what happens is that without that system, they don't onboard the new members correctly. They just, wing it. I've seen this happen so many times, and it eventually creates, like a domino effect. Many times someone with a great potential gets hired, gets trained with bits of information, here and there, no defined clear process in place. And that person makes a couple mistakes just because the process was all over the place. It wasn't clear what needs to be get done and in what order. In the result, the business owner spends triple amount of time training, extremely frustrated, because when you do something multiple times a day, it seems like a very easy task, but your newly hired employee doesn't see it this way. Even if he or she is a pro as a specific task, they know what it should be done like. Every company is so unique, and they need to know those specific company works of how you want to see things done. And when there's never ending task list each day, your own team or your employees, and they can eventually burn out just like you are. So you spend all that time looking for the right people, only for them to not being able to do what you need them to do. So lately, you hear a lot about having systems and processes in place. Every book, every video talks about it. But really, what is even the difference between the two? So I see it as that processes are just smaller parts of the larger system. And if the processes are effective at what they do, the whole system runs efficiently. Construction alone is such a complex industry that processes are important more than ever. There are so many moving parts involved in running a construction business. And as a construction business owner, you look at vendors, customers, employees, your subcontractors, suppliers, insurance companies, lenders. The list just goes on. And construction business owners must have a complete list of systems and processes. From everything in construction, from marketing and sales to finances to HR. And when one of those lists is not present, then at some point along the way, something has got to give. And you need to make sure that your processes are extremely detailed and extremely easy to understand and follow. There are endless examples really of processes in your industry. Let's see how to deal with change orders, your invoicing process, estimating, receipt management, sales calls, bill pay, your purchase orders, job costing, you name it. If something needs to get done, it needs to have a step-by-step process for someone to follow. They can be as simple as just a Google Doc where you specifically state each step and purpose of each task in your company. Get very specific on who needs to use those SOPs and make sure to review it regularly. Because as your company evolves, processes evolve as well. The more detailed it is, the better. Over communication here is definitely the key, because the purpose of an SOP is to be able to explain procedures without having to be present there when explaining it. So as a business owner, you can't spend too much of your time repeatedly explaining people of what is essential. You can even incorporate training videos. I myself am using Loom videos to record some of the training. I use Zoom recordings while sharing the screen. It just further guides new hires and team members wherever there's a new process or tool. It even helped us replace some of the meetings as well. It is good to be added to the process itself. And it will help your employees solve the problems without bugging you all the time, because those answers can be already in there. Lastly, get feedback. It's important to ask feedbacks from your employees once you put those into practice, because it's so important to have a fresh pair of eyes and perspective that will help you refine how you create and execute your systems. I know that many of my processes and systems got changed because my team was very proactive about making sure that everything is done with quality, everything is efficient, and everyone stays productive, and everything is done in a fast, right way. And I absolutely love this initiative. And that's what I really appreciate from my team. That is it for today. Next time we're talking about the next step to avoid burnout, and it is hiring and outsourcing. So stay tuned for my next video.